Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So here I am again today to tell a little bit more about my life story with my struggle with alcohol and homelessness. So first off, I want to give a little bit of recap about what part one was about, because this is actually part two. So in part one, I was just going over how I grew up in orphanages and boys' homes and how I wasn't raised in a traditional family and how I wasn't felt loved, growing up through all those years, how I didn't have any home training, how I wasn't really taught anything, you guys. Basically, all I had was a good book education. The state did give me a good book education, but as far as learning life or any kind of family skills or social skills, I had none of those. So coming out as a young adult, 18 years old, I was lost. I had not a clue what was going on in this world, everybody. I was green, as some people would call it. I knew nothing, but thought I knew everything. And that was my problem. I wouldn't ask people for help or whatever. And I kept running into issues and jams in life that I didn't know what to do about, and it would confuse me. And I tell you, when I got baffled, I had already started drinking, and that just became an excuse, to drink even more. And not being able to handle the pressures of life and not being able to pick up the pieces and move on. And I tell you, I really struggled with that for many, many years, and to the point of where my alcoholism got out of control in my early 20s, well, around my mid 20s, I guess, to where I was doing things, criminal activities, stealing, doing things. I had no idea what I was doing because I was so drunk. I would wake up the next morning and be in a jail cell and wouldn't know how I got there. That's the crazy part about it. And this went on for years, you guys. And I really struggled really hard with just life and just facing life and what life was and what it wasn't. My whole perspective on life was not the way life was. And that was my problem. I wasn't living life on life's terms, how life was meant to be lived. So my drinking and everything, like I said, led me into criminal activity, and I wound up in the prison system. And I tell you what, when I got to prison at 27 years old, I was afraid. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was in a state prison here in Virginia. It's Powhatan Penitentiary. It's closed now. It was known back in the 70s and 80s here in Virginia. They called it the slaughterhouse. That's how bad it was, and how bad it isn't anymore because it's closed. But prisons are rough. They're bad. And when I got there, you guys, and I seen them prison doors slammed together, oh my gosh. And then when I sobered up and started realizing that I made a wrong turn in life, I definitely knew something was wrong. And it was on me to figure out what that was. So what I did with my time in there was I started searching for answers, you guys. And I looked into Bible. I started there and went through Bible study after Bible study. I think my first incarceration, I read the Bible about 5 times and really understood none of it. It wouldn't be until my 3rd, 4th, and 5th incarcerations from probation violations from drinking that I would come to understand and get some light about what the Bible was saying and what it was meaning in the Bible to me. And also, you guys, while I was in there, I also studied other religions, also in Eastern philosophy. If anybody's familiar, that's with Buddhism, Zen, Hinduism. And you guys, I don't affiliate with any religion. I want you to know that to begin with. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Buddhist. I don't politic. I don't religious. That's not me. So this is just about my story and about passing this along as a message of hope, hoping that it'll help others along the way to where they won't have to go through the struggles and pain that I went through. Because you guys, y'all don't want to go to prison. I'm telling you, it's bad. It's dirty. It's nasty. The food is terrible, and I'm just telling you, I can go on for days with stories about prison, but it's just bad. Let's put it that way. You do not want to go there. So that's why I'm telling my story today. Hopefully you won't have to go that route, and also to let you know that it was during those years, because I went in and out for almost 16 years, you guys. Probation violations, really nothing criminal. It wasn't like I was doing more crimes or anything. I just wouldn't stop drinking on probation. And on my probation, I wasn't allowed to drink. So the court kept giving me probation violations. And quite honestly, I was asking for help, rehabs, and things like that. And the judge would never give me a rehab, and he would send me to prison. And quite honestly, I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't give me a rehab. I'm glad he sent me to prison and had me set still, because it took me setting still to get to know myself. I was in solitary confinement for almost 6 months. I had COVID twice while I was in prison. I nearly died the second time. So there was times that I was alone. I was able to contemplate about what I was reading in the Bible and the Buddha Bible and everything that I was putting together in my mind about myself and what life was, And I was searching, you guys. I mean, I'm telling you, everybody else was out on the weight pile getting tatted up. I mean, look at me. I'm not bragging or anything, but I didn't get any tattoos. I'm not huge. I didn't work out. I soul searched, you guys, because I wanted to know. I wanted to know something definitely was wrong in my life, and I wanted to fix it. I was unhappy, and I wanted to be happy. So again, I searched everywhere, you guys, and clues came along the way in all these scriptures that I was able to kind of put together, to kind of make some kind of sense. But all in all, you guys, the more I looked outward, the less I found. And I'm just going to be honest with you here. I spent 15 and a half years, book after book, Bible times 10 reading it, the Buddha Bible times 10 reading it. These things, just looking everywhere for answers and finding out, now that I'm 46 years old, the answer was within me. And the answer is within you, folks. This is about getting to know yourself. You're probably thinking, yeah, David, I do know myself and you're crazy and everything like that. Yeah, we kind of do know ourselves and stuff like that to an aspect of, but our body, our chemistry reacts to different things, sometimes out of our control, and we got to understand how our body, functions and relates to different things, different scenarios that goes on around us, wear and tear on our body. We really need to understand that we need to take care of our body, because our body will let us know when it's not happy, folks. And I promise you, when your body's not happy, you're not going to be happy all the way around. You're just going to be miserable all the way throughout. And folks, my message today, you guys, is to try to help. I want to help you if you're struggling. And if you're not, and if you're just listening to this story, hopefully this would be a story of knowing that the struggle is real, and also that you could be a part of something, even though if you're not in recovery or if you're an addict or anything like that. By liking and subscribing my videos, the algorithm's able to get this video ranked higher to the top, to where it'd be put out to where people can see it more that need help. So I would greatly appreciate you liking and subscribing to this video, because it will help many, I'm sure. I've been helped, and I looked for other people. I looked at books. I looked at doctors for help. I looked for family for help. I wanted everybody to fix me. I wanted everybody to help me. But you know what, folks? It took me helping myself. It took me helping myself, folks. I couldn't expect anybody else to do it. I had to do it for me. I had to love me, you guys. And today, start loving you, And if you were like me and you didn't love yourself when you was in prison, just start making subtle changes of doing things nice for yourself and others. And gradually that change will come about and your life will change and you'll be happy. Today, I'm happy. I don't have a lot, but I'm content and I don't want anything else. I have a home. It's, I don't need anything, and it's nothing that I desire that I want that I got to have, But I was talking about helping myself. I seen something air. I was watching a nature show because I love watching nature shows. And it was showing how flamingos were born, their eggs and everything, and how the little babies is down in the water and the flamingos has got long legs. And the babies is down there and it's frigid. And if those babies don't get out of the water on those big rocks, they'll freeze to death and die. And there is absolutely nothing the flamingo mothers can do to help these babies. Nothing at all. That's what it showed on the Nature Channel. And it took these little babies on their own getting up on that rock to save their own life. They had to do it on their own, and they were just little bitty babies. So imagine if a little bitty baby this big can get up on this great big rock to save his life. You can too. Don't let what's going on around you in this world tear you down, folks. Don't let it steal your joy. You have a right to be happy, and you should be happy. Folks, I'm going to get off here for a little bit and get some things done. I got to get my wildlife fed. As everybody knows, I enjoy feeding my birds and everything that I feed here on the farm. And I just absolutely, it's a way to connect with life. I just absolutely love doing it. I'll be back with more soon. Every week, I'll be back with more for you about, more things that I learned along the way while I was in prison. I just kind of cracked the surface about, getting to know yourself and how you get to know yourself. And I'll go further more into that in the next video of how you get to know yourself and how you can break barriers. And I'm going to tell you, folks, sometimes and most often, all times, you got to break the walls to let the light in. And that was my struggle, having a barrier up, having tough walls. And it takes letting those walls down to let that light in, folks. And that light is going to make all the difference in your life, I promise you. Y'all have a wonderful day. Until next time, have a good one. Have a wonderful weekend. I believe in y'all. Take care. Bye-bye now.